Okay. Is this the exact same shirt that I wore in the last video? It might be. Actually, no. I think we're good. Okay, today we are going to be doing a first impression as well as a wear test, a full day wear test of the Colourpop No Filter Stick Foundation. I'm going to do the wear test today, but it's already 3:45 in the afternoon. So then later in the video, tomorrow morning, in my world, I'm going to put it back on, do a full day wear test throughout my whole work day, plus the evening, and we will see how it actually wears. But I just couldn't wait until tomorrow to do my first impression because I want to try this so bad. I love Colourpop and I love foundation sticks, so I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the stick and then we will apply it to my face. So this foundation stick by Colourpop just came out, I think 2 days ago, and the shipping was insanely fast. I already have it here in my hands. It says it is a weightless, medium, buildable coverage stick foundation, and that it has a natural skin-like finish. Medium buildable coverage works for me. As you can tell, I have things to cover, so hopefully it's buildable. For those of you who are new here, I have oily, acne-prone skin. I was on Accutane for a while earlier this year, and it dried out my skin a ton, so I'm not as oily, but since I've been off of Accutane, my skin has definitely gone back to being oily, and the acne is coming back, as you can see. If you want to know why I stopped taking Accutane, I have a video of that. I will link it in whichever corner it's supposed to go in, as well as down below. So anyway, back to the foundation. This foundation retails for $10. However, I'd like to point out that because you can only order it through Colourpop's website, it's not actually $10. Like, the minimum you're gonna pay for this is $15 because you have to pay for shipping, or you have to order enough that your shipping is free, which means you're still paying more than $10. Do you know what I mean? So I'm gonna call it a $15 foundation. However, that's still a pretty good price considering a lot of foundations are $30, $40, $50, $60. So I'm not going to complain about $15. I just want to point out that it's not really a $10 foundation. Wow, I talked about that for a long time. Moving on. I got mine in the shade Light 50W because they have a little shade chart and you can use your shade in their concealer as well as your shade in their liquid foundation to sort of assess what shade you should get in the stick foundation. Mine told me to get Light 50W. Let's swatch it and see if we think that's going to be a good match. I think it will be. It's super yellow undertone, which is me, and it looks like it's not too tan, not too light. I think this is going to be a good match. It's a little darker than I will be in the winter, but for now I think it's going to work. The packaging itself feels very cheap and flimsy. Honestly, I was actually kind of a little surprised when I took it out of the box. I thought it was going to feel a little bit nicer just because a lot of Colourpop's packaging I really like, and I think it feels pretty high quality. This does not. It does seem to have a really nice secure lid, which is great because stick foundations are amazing for traveling, and you don't want the lid popping off in your luggage or your suitcase or your carry-on or wherever you're stashing this thing. Just to give you a frame of reference, other stick foundations that I like are the Makeup Forever HD foundation, the Benefit Play Stick, which they don't make anymore, but just in case anyone out there has tried it, that's a fave. I actually also really like the Maybelline Fit Me Stick foundation. I know a lot of people don't, but I love it. I've tried a lot of stick foundations is what I'm trying to say, and I have a lot of things to compare this to. Oh, one that I didn't like though was the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick foundation. I tried that. I was so pumped for it because they said it was going to be good for oily skin, and it let me down so bad. But anyway, that's not what this is about either. I'm so all over the place in this video. I just need to bring it in. I think I'm just really hungry and I need to eat some food. Alright, we're back, and I have scooted closer so that you can really get up in there and see my face. I have a few breakouts on my lips because I used a lip product yesterday that my skin just didn't agree with. It happens a lot to me where I will try a lipstick and I will have breakouts all over my lips the next day. It's really fun. Does that happen to anyone else? Because I never hear about that happening to people, but it happens to me all the time. So I'm just going to do 3 stripes to start with. That's what I would usually do per cheek, and then add a little bit more in the middle. I'm gonna do this side with a beauty blender. This is an LA Girl sponge, actually. And then I will do the other side with this e.l.f. brush. It's just a blending brush that I love using with stick foundations. Usually stick foundations do not blend out very well with a beauty blender because just the nature of a stick foundation is that it is thicker in consistency than a liquid foundation. Also, what are these little like crusties? I think that's from, I'll show you. I think those are coming from the edge of the foundation. See how like when you twist it up and down, there are these little flaky bits that keep coming off? Yeah, they're just kind of sitting on my face now and not really blending in. But anyway, so this is looking a lot more yellow on camera. For some reason, foundations always look so much more yellow and like they don't match me on camera. But in real life, this is, the color of it is blending into my skin seamlessly. It's a really, really good color match as long as it doesn't oxidize. Their concealers do oxidize, so I'm a little bit worried that this is going to. Wow, these little tiny bits of foundation are not wanting to blend out. I'm just gonna switch over to the brush because this is taking too long. All right, so on this side, let's do it again. Let's do 3 stripes. It feels stiffer than the Makeup Forever HD stick foundation. It also feels stiffer than the Benefit Play stick, but it feels less stiff than the ABH foundation stick. So if you're wondering, it sits right in between those. I definitely prefer using a brush. It blends out so much faster. The finish, though, I would agree, is very natural. Like, I would never call this dewy, but I also wouldn't call it completely matte. I would say it looks like a natural skin finish, like they said. And I would also say on one layer that it is looking like it's medium coverage. I'm gonna do my whole face and then we'll go back in later and see if it's buildable. It's blending out pretty quickly. I will say it's not as quick to blend out as the Makeup Forever HD stick, but I'm not having any issues blending it out now that I've switched over to using the brush. But first impressions, it feels a little bit heavy on the skin. And I don't think it's because I'm using too much, because I actually feel like I'm barely using any. It's also immediately sinking into this line right here. Can you see that? I don't know that I've ever had a foundation do that quite so quickly. We're gonna go back in now and see if it's buildable. As you can see, it did not cover the like scabbed breakouts at all. And even the ones where you saw I went in and tried to build it up over this, it didn't really work. But we're gonna try a little bit more. I'm going to build it up around my nose. Let's see, I did build it up on my cheeks, I guess, and it worked. I would say that it's at a low full coverage now, but I want to see if it will cover the actual acne. I feel like it's not going to. The buffing brush, though, is not the best way to cover spots anyway, so I'm going to go back in with a sponge and try to just blend these out on top of the breakouts. When I'm trying to get really good coverage on top of acne, a buffing brush is not the way to go because it, smears the product around. You want to use like a dense stippling brush if you are trying to cover a bunch of acne. The only reason I am not doing that is because this is what I usually use with foundation sticks, because the whole point of them, in my eyes, is to use them when you need super quick on-the-go makeup, and this blends them out the quickest. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Basically, for quick application, you're going to want to use a foundation stick with a buffing brush. For coverage, you're going to want to use a stick with a dense stippling brush, which I don't have an example of because mine fell apart the other day and I went to repurchase it. My holy grail foundation brush I went to repurchase, and of course it has been discontinued because all of my favorite products get discontinued. I'm seriously cursed. I don't know what I did to the makeup gods. I try to just be over here living my life, but for some reason they hate me. So anyway, I'm going to grab my mirror and I'm going to get uncomfortably close to the camera. So coverage wise, I think it is medium buildable coverage. I don't think you can get this to full coverage, As you can see, you can still sort of see my acne scars through the foundation, and you can definitely see any actual pimples that I have through the foundation. It just refuses to cover those. Even this one that's deep under the skin, it just is not covering it. So keep that in mind. But the actual coverage on my cheeks, I'm really happy with. I would totally go outside of the house in this. I like the finish. It's super natural looking. It does still feel a little bit heavy, nothing bad. At this point in the day, I would wear this again. It's not bad, but they say that it's weightless, and I don't know that I would agree with that statement. So yeah, so far, first impressions, my only complaint is just how bad it is creasing in my smile lines already. Outside of that, no complaints on the initial application of the foundation. I'm really liking it so far. So the next time you'll see me will be tomorrow morning. I will get up bright and early, put this back on, and do a full, long, all-day wear test. Actually, let me bring you guys over closer to the light. So do you see how this is making my skin just look really healthy? So over here in this lighting, hopefully you can see it's really not doing anything bad to my pores. I'm really happy with the coverage. I'm super, super happy with the shade. That's a huge one for me. A lot of times foundations aren't yellow enough. It's not exaggerating texture between my eyebrows. It's not exaggerating texture on my chin. Again, only complaint is that it's really, really creasing right in here. If you have acne, I don't know that this would be the one for you because it just doesn't really do a great job of covering that up. But if you just have acne scars, I think it does a quite decent job on that. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. It is 9:28 in the morning. So as I mentioned yesterday, we are going to reapply the Colourpop stick foundation and do a full day wear test today. And I actually found my stippling brush. As you can see, it's like kind of breaking, which is why I went to order another one and found out that they discontinued my favorite foundation brush. But I am going to use it still today just because, as I was talking about yesterday, I want to see if I can build up the coverage, and a stippling brush is definitely the best way to do that. So I'm just going to apply it to this side of my face and start blending it out. Okay, I definitely am not liking it as much with this brush as I was with the blending brush, so I'm gonna go grab that to do this side of my face, just because it's just a pretty stiff foundation stick, so it's taking me a really, really long time and a lot of effort to buff it out using a brush like this. So I'll be right back. All right, we're gonna do this side. 3 stripes seems to be a good amount, and then I can go back in and build up any areas that I need to. A buffing brush is definitely the way to go with this foundation. It's just so much faster. Okay, so I have it all applied. I'm going to go apply the rest of my makeup, and then I will come back and show you how everything's looking so that when we come back at the end of the day, you know what we're comparing to. But as of right now, I think it is looking really good. I just need to conceal the spots because just like yesterday, it doesn't do a very good job at covering actual acne marks. All right, so makeup is done. I do have highlighter on, so that's the shine that you're seeing just like right here and right here. Everything else is the foundation itself. I'll do a super close-up. So this is the before at about 9:45. Hang on. Yeah, 9:45 in the morning. Here's the close-up. So as you can see, it's still doing that thing in my smile line that it was doing yesterday. And it has a pretty dewy finish. Not dewy, but it's not matte. My thoughts on the foundation as of right now are that I think it looks fine, but I don't think it looks great. I can see it a little bit on the skin, just a little bit, nothing bad. Like I would, as of right now, I would wear this again, but I don't know that I would wear it again over a lot of my other foundations just because I have so many foundations that like do things for me, and I feel like this, other than pretty decent coverage, is not really doing much for me, and it's like really sinking into my lines already. So far I'm just kind of like meh about it. Like I think my skin looks really nice. I think the finish is nice and the coverage. I'm not like 100% sold just because I can kind of see it on the skin. Like I don't feel like it completely melted into my skin the way that some foundations do. So same thoughts as yesterday pretty much. I'm excited to see how it wears. All right, it is the end of the day. It's 5:45? No, it's 6 p.m. So overall, I'm shocked I'm not that oily. I don't think you can tell in this lighting. I don't have studio lights, so I'm sorry I can't really show you that well, but I'm not as oily as I thought I was going to be. I'm barely oily at all actually, which is really surprising. But I'm gonna zoom in here. You'll be able to see it's just looking all sorts of crusty on any breakouts that I have, and this one, it just completely didn't ever even cover it. So like I said this morning, I just wouldn't recommend this for you if you have acne and deal with breakouts. Otherwise though, as you can see, it has faded sort of on my cheeks. It's faded right there around my nose. It's faded a little bit on my chin. It's even faded on my cheeks. Like you can see my acne scars coming through a lot more, but it doesn't look bad. It's not breaking up. It doesn't look heavy. It stopped feeling heavy after a while. It's doing really well at handling my oils. I'm actually pretty impressed with it, a lot more than I thought I was gonna be at the beginning of the day. It's a really great option if you're looking for a stick foundation that's cruelty-free and low cost. If you need all three of those things, there are not that many options out there, and I think this is a really great choice unless you have acne. Then I just wouldn't even mess with it, not worth it. There are other things, but otherwise, I'm kind of impressed with it. I'm excited to keep using it. I decided that what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try this foundation again one more time tomorrow, and I'm going to set my face as well as apply a setting spray. Both of those are things that I would do whenever I want my makeup to last longer. So since this one did have a little bit of trouble with fading, I just wanna see if I do my normal things that I would do to make makeup last longer, does it work with this or does it still fade? So we're gonna try one more time again tomorrow. See you back here in a second. All right, y'all, it is a hat day today because it's Friday. I'm working from home again today, probably not gonna go anywhere, but I really, really wanted to do another wear test of this foundation because I am liking this foundation. Like, I'm really finding that the more I wear it, the more I'm liking it. So I wanna try to make it last better because that was really the only downside that I saw with this foundation. So today that's what we're gonna do. Also, this is actually the 4th day that I've had this foundation. Last night I put it on just for like an hour or two at night before I had to go run an errand, and the way I applied it was a little bit different and I loved it. So basically, where is it? So basically I just applied a little bit less than what I had in the first impression and the wear test that you've already seen. Not much less, almost the same amount, just a little bit less, and I really, really focused on just buffing it around to the other areas I needed rather than like applying more to the other areas. And I found that it did a better job of like blurring things and looking more natural and having just like a less makeup-y finish. So I definitely think if you buy this, I would focus on blending it out rather than applying more. But for the most part, I mean, I'm still going in with the amount that I went in before. Why am I not in focus? This hurts so bad. It is one of those zits that like, ooh, I haven't had one like this in a long time and it hurts so bad. I'm gonna buff this in and everything. It is currently 10:23. I've just been here doing some work, but I figured I should get this on my face so we can start the wear test, and then I will check in probably twice, maybe once like halfway through the day and then once at the end of the day, so that we can see how it's been wearing. Also, the hat is not going to affect anything because I never put foundation up here anyway. If you've been watching my reviews, you already know that. And yeah, like I mentioned, I just really focus on buffing it into the skin. I find that helps with this foundation. The color is a little bit too dark for me, so I have to bring it down my neck pretty far, and I have to bronze up my neck a little bit just because it's just a hair too dark for me. I'm not putting on any eye makeup or anything like that today because, like I said, I'm just gonna be at my house. I might go to a coffee shop, but I'm not in the mood to put on any other makeup other than the foundation today. I might throw on like some bronzer if I go out, but I'll let you know if I do that. For now, we can just look at how it's doing on my skin. I will get you super close. Sorry that I wasn't this close when I was applying it. I suck at these. I'm so not used to filming. I haven't filmed in forever, so I keep forgetting to do things, but I'll get better with time. I'm going to set it with a little bit of the Cover FX loose setting powder. This powder is not like insanely oil controlling or anything like that, so it's not going to affect that about the foundation. Hopefully it's just going to make it last a little bit longer. And then I will use the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. It's just the one I have. This also doesn't, I don't find that it actually helps control oil at all. It just sets down powders and makes them look less powdery. Really just all the same thoughts that I had before. Quite a bit of creasing in the lines, but everywhere else I really like how it looks. So I will see you later on in the day and we will check on how it's doing. So it is about 5 o'clock, which means the foundation's been on 6.5 hours, I think. Am I doing the math right? I think 6.5 hours. And I just wanted to come check in because this is probably the last I'm going to get with natural lighting. So I'm gonna do a close-up here and hopefully you'll be able to tell that I think it's looking really nice. It's not breaking apart anywhere. It's not looking super oily. It's lasting really well. I know it's only been 6-something hours, but it doesn't appear to be fading at all anywhere on my face. I think it looks nice. So I will come back at the end of the night with all of my final thoughts, whether I would recommend this or not. See you in a second. All right, it is 7:30 at night now, so the foundation has been on for about 9 hours. I figured now would be a good time to give you my last little update, final thoughts, and then slide this clip into the end of the video and get it uploaded for y'all. You know most of my thoughts already. Creases in the smile lines, feels a little bit heavy, not super heavy, just it's not weightless. You can see it on the skin a little bit more than other foundations. Now, at the same time, it's not bad at all. I think it looks really natural. It has a super skin-like finish. It has really good coverage, and like they said, it's buildable. So if you want something a little more sheer, you can get that. If you want something more built up, I think that you can get this to a low full coverage. Also, like I mentioned before, I don't think that if you have acne, this is gonna be the one for you because it doesn't cover raised pimples. It just doesn't. And the only other additional thoughts are just that I am pretty shocked at how well it is handling oils. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but I am oily, definitely in like this area, and this area, but it's nothing bad at all, especially because this doesn't even claim to be oil controlling at all. So I'm pretty shocked with how well it holds up under oils. I also love the shade. I love the shade range. There's a huge shade range, and I love the price. So overall, would I recommend that you rush out and buy this foundation? No, but if you do want it, I think you will like it. I don't think you'll be disappointed by this foundation if you go ahead and buy it. If you're in the market for a really affordable, pretty good coverage foundation, then I would recommend this. I think it's nice. I'm gonna keep using it. The video kind of took a turn at the beginning. I was not so sure about it, but once I learned kind of what I like and what I don't like with how to apply it, and now especially that I have set my face, I forgot to mention that earlier. Now that I set my face with powder and a setting spray, as you can see, it's not wearing off at all compared to yesterday when it was almost completely gone in certain areas. Now that I know to set it, now that I know to apply just like a little bit less than I was doing before, I'm actually really liking this foundation. So if you liked this video and you like my reviews, definitely subscribe to my channel so you don't lose me out there on the internet. Like this video if you thought it was helpful in any way. Comment down below any videos you want to see in the future or your thoughts on this foundation, whatever you want, just comment down below. I love responding to you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, frick.